Since the hovering view over Fjord-like territories announced Skyrim's follow-up at E3 2018, Bethesda has offered almost nothing concrete about The Elder Scrolls 6. No trailer, no confirmed setting, not even a pixel of concept art. For a series whose influence imbues every modern-day RPG, their silence only intensifies the notion this game is forever out of reach. In the past few months, however, Todd Howard has been progressively opening up the curtain, offering tiny glimpses of Bethesda's internal mindset. And despite talking more about other projects, he's given something resembling clarity for the Elder Scrolls 6's expectant fans. In a recent interview with GQ magazine, he confirmed the game is still a long way off, but simultaneously revealed that Bethesda recently conducted a big playtest. It's the most substantial update in years, enough to confirm the project is still alive, but not enough to suggest it's even close to being shown publicly. Todd likely doesn't mean to be contradictory. His words define the Elder Scrolls 6's story so far, hopeful yet cautious. One thing is clear though, he's telling fans not to expect too much. Bethesda's personnel, he confirms, is working on Fallout, specifically 76's Burning Springs expansion, plus some other things, likely meaning Starfield's 2026 content drop, although there are remake rumors which refuse to die as well. It's nebulous, but the Elder Scrolls 6, at least he describes as the everyday thing.
You, the one I've heard so much about.
So, despite numerous projects in the pipeline, he implies The Elder Scrolls 6 is the studio's main resource focus, and it's far enough along in the process to be playable internally. Yet, even though Bethesda has teams working on it every day, why does The Elder Scrolls 6 still feel so distant? Starfield is an undeniable factor here. The Elder Scrolls 6 was in pre-production in 2022, while the studio's full attention was consumed by Starfield. Todd himself describes the internal ethos throughout Starfield's development as a creative reset for the whole team. They needed distance from their own endeavors to make Starfield the most engaging spacefaring adventure they were capable of. After Starfield launched in 2023, full production began on The Elder Scrolls 6. Now, if we take Todd's position that games of this scale take at least 5 years to complete, the 7 years Fallout 4 took notwithstanding, then 2028 is, logically at least, the earliest possible release year for this game. You see, sometimes the simplest answer is actually the correct one. We aren't yet playing The Elder Scrolls 6 because there just hasn't been enough time for Bethesda to finish making it. Yet, development time isn't the only obstacle standing between fans and the next Elder Scrolls. As Todd suggested to GQ magazine, Bethesda's plate is full. Fallout occupies hundreds of staff as 76 continues growing. Starfield's aforesaid second expansion is coming next year, and the rumored Fallout 3 remaster is believed, in some circles, to already be in development, a 2023 leaked Microsoft document putting fuel on that very particular fire. The studio's workload, its manpower spread, must oftentimes run thin. The now-released Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition, for all of its mixed reception, wasn't a light undertaking. A new questline and Cyberdog companion, plus menu and UI overhauls, would have diverted some of Bethesda's attention away from The Elder Scrolls 6. To suggest the same 100% focus they applied onto Starfield can be replicated on the next Elder Scrolls is, to put it lightly, fanciful.
Idea how much this is gonna set me back?
I wouldn't be here if it weren't for your two-timing dame, Skinny. You ought to tell her to write home more often.
Oh, poor little Valentine. Ashamed you got beat up by a girl? I'll just run back home to Daddy, shall I?
Should've left it alone, Nikki.
Throw in the interpretation that Todd seems more personally energized by Starfield and Fallout than The Elder Scrolls right now as well. He may be tempering his excitement until The Elder Scrolls 6 is ready to be unveiled, but while his pride in Starfield's progress and his eagerness to push Fallout to new directions might seem trivial to some, they raise a question many fans won't want to consider. Could Fallout 5 leapfrog The Elder Scrolls 6? With the second series of its universally acclaimed TV series streaming in December, Fallout is finding itself back in the cultural spotlight. In recent interviews, Todd has spoken passionately about visiting the set and ensuring key story points remain out of the show for Fallout 5's benefit. So to be clear, Bethesda haven't said anything official of Fallout 5 coming before The Elder Scrolls 6, but assuming the rip-roaring success of a follow-up to one of the most watched TV series of all time is a shoo-in, it wouldn't be too wild from a business perspective to swap the two titles' release windows. Rest assured, all of this is of course conjecture. Discussing them here is just food for thought really, yet they don't explain the strangest part of the Elder Scrolls 6's saga, why it was announced so early in the first place. The early reveal, in short, has actually backfired. As a studio renowned for keeping cards close to their chest, it makes sense that Bethesda hasn't shared any artwork or gameplay so far, but their silence has without doubt fueled unease. To explain, Todd is on record saying the decision to announce the next Elder Scrolls was taken to appease fan demand, that they were coming with pitchforks. In hindsight, announcing such an anticipated sequel could only ever be a short-term solution. Fans might have been appeased, but not for long honestly. The more silence rolls on, the greater disdain emerges. There is also the theory that the Elder Scrolls 6's announcement was made to placate shareholders whose bottom line was sustaining the pressure of a studio navigating its post-Skyrim era. More cynically, it was a marketing tactic to bolster the company's value in the run-up to parent company ZeniMax Media's acquisition by Microsoft. So, theories aside, responding to fan demand seems most likely. Either way, Todd expresses regret in the early reveal. Possibly he sees what the fans see. The lack of information in the year since has created an inescapable void. With no idea of tone or narrative confirmed, no screenshots, characters, or concepts, only job listings and rumors, the vacuum can sometimes feel unbearable. This lack of something meaningful mirrors Bethesda's usual marketing cycle, short timeframes between announcement and release, such as the 4-month period between Fallout 4's E3 2015 reveal and launch, or shadow dropping entirely like last April's Oblivion remaster. If Bethesda followed the same blueprint, we'd only expect to see a glimpse of the Elder Scrolls 6 in action around half a year before it eventually comes out. As it is though, the current blackout is frustrating, but it needs to be understood in terms of Bethesda's usual philosophy. So, leading back to the original question of when, we can only speculate, but 2028 seems the earliest feasible year we'll be able to get our hands on the next Elder Scrolls. That's of course assuming all Bethesda's other diversions don't delay the game's development. If not, depending on the time of year, we might get our first look at the game in action in 2027. Yet, given the projects Bethesda has running in tandem, 2029 or gosh, even 2030 also seems realistic. Edging beyond 2028 also brings into question the launch platform. Are we looking at the Elder Scrolls 6 landing on next-gen hardware? Will navigating more advanced architecture affect the game's development timeline? Of course, time will only tell. It's as vague an answer as some of Todd's interview responses, but there is one thing we can say clearly. The Elder Scrolls 6 isn't running late, it was just announced too early. As Todd confirms with GQ, Bethesda are working on the title every day, but given their parallel commitments, it's almost guaranteed to be a slow burn. This is the cold, hard truth. You're not waiting for the Elder Scrolls 6 for any other reason than it just simply isn't finished. So, what are your thoughts on this? Go ahead and share them in the comments below. And if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon to get new video updates. We upload every day and would really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching.